Hey everyone, welcome back to the Golf Battle Guide, episode number 7. So this is going to be a bit of a different episode to what we're used to. What I've been doing is playing some gameplay, and I've time-lapsed it in the background. And over the top, I'm going to be talking about some Golf Battle tips for the game itself. Not shortcuts necessarily, but actually the game itself as an overview. I'm going to give you some tips on how to play, when to play, and why to play it. So it's a bit different. Hopefully you enjoy this one. Enjoy the footage in the background. We eventually get up to 100,000 coins today, so that's pretty exciting. But anyway, let's get straight into the video. So the first tip I have for you when playing Golf Battle is the device that you play on. So most people have probably a phone, and that's absolutely fine, just use that. But if you have something different like an iPad or a tablet, I highly recommend you use that. It's going to be far easier to aim your shots. The bigger screen allows you to see easier, and the consistency of your shots is going to be a whole lot better if you use a bigger device. And the second tip that we have is to use your index finger. So this one I've learned from experience. When I first started playing the game, I always used my thumb to pull back and release for the shots, and recently I've changed my index finger and I found it far more consistent. I definitely recommend that you use that. Alright, so the next tip I have is for when you should play the game. So this tip I've just learned about recently, but it's definitely one of the most important. So what I recommend you do is only play Golf Battle from 6 PM onwards. Around about that time is the best time to play. So the reason why you should play from around about 6 PM onwards is because that's when the most people will be online. People will be home from school, home from work, and that's when people are going to be playing, and that means there's less bots online. If you play during the day, there's going to be a whole lot less people playing, which means the game's going to give you a whole lot more bots, and it's going to be a lot harder to win. If you play from 6 PM onwards, you're going to be playing real people, and you have a much higher chance of doing well and actually winning. So it's definitely a good tip that I recommend you use. So next, let's talk about a bit of the clubs. So when you upgrade your clubs, you can upgrade for power, accuracy, and also guideline. Definitely upgrade power more often. And what I mean by that is if you have a whole bunch of clubs in your shop, your item collection, use the most powerful ones. Power is definitely the most important thing. It's going to help you to shoot further, and it just means you can use a lot less shots. So definitely use the highest power you have. And then for the second most important thing is accuracy. Accuracy helps you pull into the hole from further away, and it also helps you aim your shots better. A lot of people don't know that, but if you have bad accuracy, even if you line it up perfectly, it probably won't go exactly where you want it to. The accuracy is definitely the most important, except on rocky mountains. Rocky Mountains are a little bit different because they've got sand everywhere, and that one I actually find that guideline is more useful than accuracy. Because when you have a guideline on rocky mountains, what it allows you to do is it shows you exactly where you can land when you're in sand. So when you have like a 5 power and a 5 guideline, and a 3 accuracy, which is still good, that would be one of the best Rocky Mountains club. So definitely upgrade power first, then accuracy, unless it's Rocky Mountains, do guideline first. Alright, so the next tip we talked about in a little bit in the last episode, and that revolves around gems. Alright, so gems we talked about a bit in the last episode, so I'm just going to quickly recap that. Basically, don't waste your gems. Gems are the best way to upgrade your clubs and get better chests, which is where you're going to beat people because you can get higher power. So save your gems. Don't unlock chests with gems, and save them. Look for deals in your shop. If you get like a 3 power from early on in the game, buy that. Otherwise, save them up for a VIP chest, and that's where you're going to get 4 power clubs. So check out the last video if you haven't seen that, but yeah, just a quick recap, save your gems. Alright, the next shortcut is highly important, and that is simply shortcuts. Look up shortcuts, find the best route for every single hole in every single map. You should know how to play every hole perfectly in every map. It doesn't mean you're going to plumb and get it perfect every time, but you should know how to get it perfectly. And that's probably one of the biggest tips I can give you. Take the time to look up and find the best shortcuts and practice them. If you've got friends, practice them with friends if you don't waste money, and that's how you're going to get the least amount of shots, which is obviously how you win. So definitely look out for shortcuts. I'm going to be making videos for every hole and every map in the near future. Make sure you subscribe for that, and I'll give you some tips on the best shortcuts. Definitely find the best shortcuts. Alright, so the next tip is about losing. If you're going to keep losing in a row, that's what I've learned from experience. The best thing to do is just take a break and stop. The worst thing you can do is just play, or keep on playing and losing. You're going to be mad, you're going to be fed up with yourself, and you're not going to win. You're just going to keep losing more and more coins. This time it's happened to me multiple times. Been up at millions of coins and gone all the way back down to zero. Very frustrating. I know it can be really hard, but the best advice I can give you is just take a break. You'll come back with a fresh head, and then you can play a whole lot better. And chances are it's probably not even your fault. You're just playing a lot of bots at that time. If you just give it some time, people will come on and you'll play a lot better. So just take a break before it's all gone. Next one is a bit more personal preference, but I just want to talk about sound effects. So I like to play with sound effects on. I recommend that you do as well. Just make the game a little bit more interesting and engaging. And it's just nice to have a bit of sound in the background. It's personal preference, but I think it makes the game a little bit more entertaining if you play it with sound effects on. I never play with music on. I find it very irritating after a while. But sound effects, I recommend you use that. The next one is friends. So playing with friends is a good way to practice, and it's also a good way to have fun. It means you know you're playing an actual person, and if you beat them, it feels pretty good. So if any of your friends play Golf Battle, make sure you friend them on Facebook and you can play along. If you don't have any friends who play Facebook, no problem. What I recommend you do is there's a whole bunch of Facebook group pages, fan pages on Facebook. There's probably at least about 20 of them. Just go and find some of the most popular ones. Join it, you'll get accepted, and then you can friend request a whole bunch of people. They all seem to play together, and it's just a nice way to get into the community. I definitely recommend you can go and get some friends, and also, if you join those groups, you can get lots of friends, and that means you can get lots of gifts. If you have lots of friends, every single person, if they give you 150 gifts, you can get actually quite a decent amount of coins, especially early on. So friends, definitely nice to have. I recommend you try and get some of those. Next one is just a little bit about me. If you want to play me in the future, definitely I'm happy to do that. All you have to do is go and find me on Facebook. Link is in the description. I also have an Instagram page. Go check out the Facebook page. Give me a friend request. I'll accept you, and we can send gifts to each other. And if you're on the Oceania server, then we can play together. Fortunately, if you're on a different server, the game doesn't allow you to play. But there's a way to get around that. If you do want to desperately play me, all you have to do is download a VPN and just change the country to either Australia or New Zealand. And it should put you in the Oceania server, and then you can challenge me. If I'm available, I'll definitely jump on. Just keep nagging me, and eventually I'll probably come and play it. I also don't have Rush, so if you do have that, that'd be pretty nice for me. I haven't played much Rush at all. So that pretty much does it for this episode. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Let's give you a quick recap of all the tips. So basically, use the biggest device that you have. Make sure you use your index finger for the most control. Play from 6 PM onwards, so when there's less bots, you're more likely to win. Upgrade your power the most, use the most powerful clubs that you have. Then accuracy, except for Rocky Mountains, upgrade guideline. Save your gems, save your gems, save your gems. Shortcuts, find the best shortcuts so you can reduce the amount of shots. If you're losing, just take a break, don't worry about it, come back later on before it's all gone. I recommend playing with sound effects on. Grab some friends, play with them, send free gifts, and yeah, that pretty much does it. Hopefully you enjoyed this one, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching, peace.